Welcome back to another episode of the More Muse podcast.
What's happening, everybody?
What's up?
We have two very special guests with us today. We have Chris Beatty and Cheniqua Lassiter.
Appreciate y'all for coming on.
Right.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
It up with y'all.
We're just going to go ahead and get started. You all didn't just end up in the positions and the places that you are today. It took a lot of hard work, a lot of perseverance. So, Chris, tell us about how you started to where you are now.
Yeah, so I'm currently working in higher education now. So I've been in this role, in this profession for a little over 5 years. And what drove me into this profession is based off my undergraduate experience. I attended North Carolina Central University in Durham, and during that time, pretty much got involved on campus, was an orientation leader, I modeled with the organization, I was in SGA, and pretty much I just wanted to experience the college life forever. So I was introduced to the profession of higher education. So once I earned my master's in higher ed, started working at William Peace University as an admissions counselor, and then from there on became a recruitment specialist at George Washington University in DC. And then within a year, I got promoted to a student success coach for our IT, sustainable urban planning, and cybersecurity programs.
Oh, wow. We
Yeah. Right. That's news to me.
That's my dog right there. Been doing it too.
Hey, y'all killing it out there. So, Cheniqua, your story is a little bit different. Tell us about how you got started and just tell us about the whole thing.
Yeah, so I am classified as what you would call an adult learner. So my background really was, I was working in education K through 12 as a TA. Thought it was time for me to go back to school and earn my 4-year degree. So I landed at William Peace University, finished my bachelor's there, and within 2 months started my journey in higher ed as the admissions counselor. So Chris and I pretty much started 2 weeks after each other at Peace. And so, it was really nice to kind of start this journey alongside someone who was just entering into higher ed as well. And so from that point, I just kind of took off with just learning everything I could about the industry, about the field. So I did a lot of cross training with other departments, learned academic, affairs, learned career services. And within a year or two, I was promoted to assistant director of admissions for our School of Professional Studies, which is our evening online program. And then maybe a year or two later, promoted as director of admissions for the same program. So had a little opportunity to elevate within the field and have been riding out in higher ed ever since.
Awesome. And I think we missed a small but important part there. It wasn't just you carrying yourself, but you also have a husband and 3 kids,
Yes.
3 elementary school kids. Tell us about how you balance that out, going to school, trying to be a professional, trying to really build something sustainable for your children's future.
Black girl magic.
Right.
That part, all of that. But yes, I will say that, that has been, one of the most challenging and rewarding, parts of just this whole journey is the fact that I did have the support system behind me. And so it took a lot of, nights of me just saying, hey, Craig, you got the kids because I gotta study. I gotta do this, or, missing out on that concert with my girlfriends because I have to study. So, it was a lot of, challenges, things that I had to make a priority. And so I'm just grateful. I have no regrets about my journey. A lot of students that I work with, even now, say, they're not sure how they can go back and, do it because they have all these, obligations and they're caregivers. And, I just kind of tell them my story. And I think that gives them that motivation to say, okay, well, let me give it a try. She did it with the family and, work-life balance and all that kind of stuff. And so, it's just really kind of encouraging others, to do the same. So, but you're right, Anthony. I mean, it was definitely a challenge, but she did it,
Yeah, she's still doing it. It's a doctor next, huh?
We're thinking about it.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see. Chris and I both have been playing back and forth with that thought. So,
Yes.
if I do it, I have to, kind of be mindful about what that looks like again, balance and everything. So, I don't want to jump into it and not be, fully committed to it. So
Right.
we'll see.
I was not going back. I would like you to get out of them 4 years I was in.
Okay.
Boy, did we push you out the door.
Right.
I mean,
Oh,
you'll go back though.
Not
You
me.
will.
Go back to visit Miss Vera. And that's it.
He might need to do something.
She is ready for you. Time you hit her door, she is going to be ready for you, have a task and everything lined out.
So who is Miss Vera?
Oh my God, who is not Miss Vera? No, Miss Vera, James, when you mentioned about Black Girl Magic, that's Miss Vera. Like, she is a first lady, no jokes. I mean, she is like that, staple Black woman that you want in your pocket, because she is going to keep it all the way 100 with you when it comes to church, family, life, consequences. I mean, everything, so she is, I should say, everything to all of us. It doesn't matter our age. We respect her, and everything that she did for us. I mean, Chris and I were employees, and Anthony and Jeremiah, students.
Who were your coworkers?
Students.
He tried that one.
He tried it,
During
but
the
I
summer?
caught it.
Right.
But, we all could go to her for, any conversations, anything, we needed prayer,
Right.
She had us.
Yep.
That's real.
She had us. Yep. So that is Miss Vera, but she still is definitely well respected at Peace. She is our office manager for our enrollment and marketing team, and so everyone still respects her and goes to her for a lot of support.
And if you didn't respect her, you got one of a few people coming to see you.
You got to deal with all of us.
Yeah.
She sounds like she ran everything.
Get right before you get left.
Right.
We had one try.
All
Please
you gotta do
don't.
is stay on your good side. You're gonna eat good on open house.
Woo! Yeah. See, and yeah, so she's also that Black woman that had that little bit of change in her hand, and she gonna come sneak it and kind of fold it and put it in your pocket a little bit and say, "Here, baby, take this."
Yeah.
That's her.
Yeah, that's Miss
You're gonna
Vera.
get yourself something in the store, baby. All I need to know is, does she keep peppermint?
Yes, she does actually.
Yeah.
Those little
Right.
white
It was
mints.
those-
What
yeah,
lifesaver
yeah.
mints. I used to go into her office and take a whole handful of them.
Lifesavers, T-shirts, water
Oh,
bottles.
that's hilarious.
It's all of that off. All of it.
Oh my, sanitizer,
Yes.
sanitize
Oh,
wipes.
man.
I mean, everything. You go to her for everything.
Well, she Big Mama, basically.
Basically, she gonna get us talking about her so much.
But we're talking about it with love.
Absolutely.
All of these roles, your role, Cheniqua, your role, Chris, and Ms. Vera, like, and several other people really play key roles into folks' success. For real, I really don't know if I would have made it out on time without having this kind of corner that I had. So that's why I'm really trying to, like, show people the importance of education number one, but also like having those relationships to get you through.
Yeah.
It ain't what, it's who you know.
Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah,
That's facts.
it is. And I was, definitely grateful that you all, respected me enough to, keep me informed of, how you're doing, what you're doing. I mean, I think that also helped me get through my day. Reminded me of why I was in higher ed and why I should continue, to support students. Because it was you all that, really were the ones that I wanted to see be successful. So, as much as you're saying that we helped you, you all helped us.
Right.
It's amazing.
Seeing you all successful is what
why
makes me push in my job.
That's the only reason why we came to class some days.
That made me feel better.
I know.
It's 9:10, and you asking us, do we have class? No, it's canceled.
Oh.
I mean, you all would come down that hall and be like, you're supposed to be in class right now. What you doing over here?
Right.
You're supposed to be working. You better go see Miss Vera.
He's hiding from his vision.
Yes. That was some good money though.
Free money.
When you came to work,
Right.
yeah.
Either one of you guys can chime in on this, but what do you think is the biggest thing that you guys kind of do to maintain student relationships?
That's a good question. You said maintain student relationships?
Yeah, it kind of just grabs students in at the same time. How do you get their attention that that you care and get them to realize that you're really there for them?
Well, for me, one thing I definitely try to do, and I think Cheniqua does the same thing as well, is try to be relatable to the student. If you come with this bureaucratic type mindset to the student, they're not going to pay you no mind. But if you just be relatable to them, that's how I typically build relationships. We were all college students at one point. We know what the logistics is. We know how the day-to-day life is. If you just relate to them in that aspect, that's how I typically maintain those type of relationships.
Yeah. I think you took the words right out my mouth. Is just being relatable. Don't try to be something you're not. Don't try to, fit into this bubble to, keep up with trends just because you want to start these conversations, and have them be conversational starters for, students. It's just, they flock to who they see and who they can relate to. And so I think that was the biggest, or one of the biggest reasons why, so many students do come to me is because I'm not trying to be something I'm not. The same way I can, tell you about the latest song that's out is the same way I'm gonna tell you go to class, So hopefully, just understanding that, you're wanting to make sure that they know they can come to you and talk to you, create this safe, environment, and know that they also, I think one thing too is that, students need to know you have their back. They, that, outside of, their parents or guardians, that they have somebody on campus that will advocate for them or show them, the way to, be advocates for themselves. I know I used to tell Maya all the time, did you document that? Did you make sure that that was written down? So I told Jeremiah the same thing. It's just, kind of making sure that the same way that you are trying to, build that relationship with them, you're teaching them new skills as well. So yeah, just being relatable at the end of the day.
Yeah, y'all definitely was relatable. At some point, I forgot y'all weren't students.
You did. Every day you did.
A lot of folks are going into higher ed. Tell them, hey, look,
we all know them signs.
I felt like my mom was doing. I was like, oh God, that's a flashback.
All right.
cut.
A lot of folks are going into higher ed. What advice would you give to a young person that's coming up, that's looking to go into a higher educational profession?
Well, I think for one, I would tell them to get involved on campus with, especially if they're going in an area that isn't like student center, like student involvement or res life. But either way, I think it's important to just get involved, find out, the students that are the minority group on campus, see how you can support them, find out what groups there are, student-led groups there are on campus, even ones that aren't, and see if you can find a need for that. I think, when Chris and I first started at Peace, boy, oh boy, there were a lot of students that were just lacking support and resources. And so I think just over, the course of the years, we did start seeing more younger professionals coming in, like the Chelsea Hayes and the, Bobby Coles and Stephanie Reed. And granted, they weren't young in higher ed. I think they have definitely years of experience, but they were coming in and having those conversations with students that were the minority group and finding out what their needs were. So I think that's probably one of my biggest, kind of advice to young professionals is just come in working, observing, learning your student population and helping to find solutions, for the need of the student.
And to piggyback off of Cheniqua, she hit the nail on that one. But also, I would recommend building a network as well. Finding a mentor that actually will guide you through, because higher ed is definitely one of those professions that is definitely challenging to get in. But if you have, nowadays it's not what you know, it's who you know. But based off of experience, I will also say build off a network as well.
Mm-hmm.
Cheniqua, was it you that said that you worked, that you also work with career services as well?
Mm-hmm. I did.
So, what do you think corporations can improve in on actually hiring people out of HBCUs?
One of the things that I did in career services, I taught a couple of the professional development classes, and I think it's important to make sure there are people of color teaching a lot of these professional development classes, because students of color are going to leave school, go into the workforce, and really find that there are going to be some challenges. There are going to be biased situations that they're going to be put in. There's going to be racism, within the workplace, and they need to know how to combat, some of those things. So I think, to answer your question, is just it's important that there are internship programs set up across different campuses that, support, our students of color, so that when they do leave, from college going into the workforce, there are careers set up that they're ready to, really kind of step into.
Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready?
I don't think so.
I'm nervous.
Because I'm going to hit you with this in a minute if I don't want to answer.
Nah, it ain't nothing like that. Well,
Nah, yeah.
All right, you got 5 seconds to answer after I ask you. So they fast. Unless
who goes first, Chris?
Whoever's the fastest. Y'all say it at the same time. All right, so first question: hot or cold?
Hot.
Okay. Dang, hot or cold?
Oh, do I still get the answer?
Yeah.
Oh,
Family Feud.
cold.
Okay.
He said that Family Feud.
Why you say cold?
I mean, I can bear the cold more than the heat.
Okay, Chris, why you say the heat?
Because I can bear the heat versus the cold.
Okay. You could choose. You working in the daytime or you working at night?
Day.
Oh yeah, I was on it with that one. Okay.
Yeah.
What's your favorite drink right now? Alcoholic.
Long Island.
I'll say
Oh,
Long
man. Yeah.
Long Island
Y'all
or
all
Jack
right.
and Coke.
If you could choose any superpower, what superpower would you choose?
Teleport.
Chris, you own it. You 10 for 10.
Love it. Love it.
Hey, that's mine too. I just didn't get it out fast enough.
That's a good
Teleport too.
I mean, right now I'm going to somebody's beach.
Yes.
Exactly. That's the first thing.
I've been itching to get to a beach for the longest.
Look, follow Ted Cruz to Mexico.
That's the first person I thought about.
If y'all had 3 people that y'all could hang out with, dead or alive, who would your top 3 people be?
My aunt who passed away a couple of years ago, Cicely Tyson. I would have loved to been in the same room with her, and Michelle Obama.
Okay, that's a
those are great choices.
I like that.
I would say Barack Obama.
Okay. So y'all meeting together. She with Michelle. You with
Right.
Don't do lunch.
No, just chop it up a little bit. I would say my dad. And I just say my sister.
Last question. If you could choose any school to be working at, what school would you pick and why?
A&T.
Hey, I like it.
I would say North Carolina Central University.
I knew you were going to say that.
Aggie Pride.
I knew it was coming too.
No. North Carolina Central. Eagle Pride.
Listen, I haven't had the HBCU experience yet. Of course, I've had it through, vicariously through others. But A&T is that staple HBCU that I would love to work at.
Okay, I can respect that. A&T lit.
Yeah,
Love it. Come on now.
We got the rivals.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, this is the classic right here.
Right.
Okay, so since both of y'all going so hard for these 2 schools, and these are the biggest, for North Carolina, the biggest HBCU rivalry. What makes one better than the other?
We're a classic. We have a winning tradition. We
Oh, wow.
I mean,
okay.
We scored.
Listen, A&T has the best students coming from their institution. The best. The track team is fly, girls and boys, and they just have the bomb faculty too. I know a couple of folks that work out there. No, they good.
I ain't gonna lie. A&T got that prominent alumni base.
Come on.
Who inspired you to do the work that you do? What one person?
Well, I'll go back to my undergraduate experience. Miss Janelle Simmons, she was our director of first year experience, and she was the one that pretty much introduced me to the profession of higher ed. I didn't know that it was a profession that you can go get a master's degree in and that you can literally work. So she was the one that really pushed me to get into this profession, provided my recommendation letters, everything. So I would say her.
And I think for me, I don't have anyone who inspired me to pursue higher education, but education in general. I have so many women in my family that are in education. My mother-in-law, my sister-in-laws, they're all in education, but I did have several great educators that taught me in grade school, that one of them is a soror now. And so I still stay in contact with her because she was just so inspirational and had that impact on me. So seeing all of these Black women in education is really what inspired me. And I think for me, I kind of leveled my own playing field when it came to stepping into higher ed, because I know the importance of us, right, graduating from four-year institutions and, becoming successful in a lot of these, businesses that aren't even meant for us. But we tend to step into them because we are well educated, and we're willing to get that experience to move forward. A lot of folks inspired my path.
You did mention your sorority. What are you repping?
Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated.
All right.
What would y'all say that y'all took away from higher education bring it to like your home life? What's been the biggest takeaway?
Well, I think, again, it just comes from learning so much about the business and what institutions are looking for in students. I mean, I have a daughter who will be 16 in November. So, she's a rising junior. So preparing her, right now for the college experience, I'm, taking away all these things that I'm learning, using my network, like Chris mentioned earlier, and, kind of really putting her in a position to, really kind of be more resourceful and up on, the game of applications and, FAFSA and doing all those things. So a lot of good takeaways.
Piggyback off of that, pretty much just learning the business side of things, like Cheniqua mentioned, assisting families and friends who have different questions in regards to like financial aid questions,
yes.
Helping those through that process. Because I am a first generation college graduate. And then that experience on top of working in the business, I'll be able to help my families and friends through the process of course, applying for colleges, applying for financial aid, what happens if I get a hold on my account. And now that I got the advising experience as well, I'll be able to, assist through my cousins, my families and friends through those processes as well.
It's been great having y'all up here to chop it up with us. It's really been like a real little reunion, so we're thankful that y'all joined us. Make sure to everyone who's viewing right now that you like, subscribe, comment, and share this video. So thank you for tuning in, and we out.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.